Hi everyone, my name is Andrew Smith and I'm the Urban Agriculture Educator with Purdue Extension in Vanderburgh County, Indiana. Today I want to talk to you about taking care of your lawn. Whether you want a lawn that looks like a golf course or you want a lawn that just keeps the neighbors from complaining, hopefully this video will supply you with a few tips to get your lawn looking nice and healthy. So let's get started. One of the first things I would recommend is figuring out what plants actually make up your lawn. In my lawn, I have several different types of grass and a number of plants that we'll refer to as weeds. We're not going to get into how to identify all the common lawn weeds in this video. However, let's talk about some of the common grasses that we find in the Midwest, some of the pros and cons of each, and talk about how to take care of those grasses.
This table shows some of the common grass types that you can find in the Midwest. Tall fescue, fine fescue, and Kentucky bluegrass would be your cool season grasses. Zoysia grass, Bermuda grass, those would be your warm season options, especially for the southern part of the state. If you're looking for something that's lower maintenance, a tall fescue or a fine fescue would be your better option. In terms of soil preference, fine fescue likes medium to well-drained soils, and Kentucky bluegrass prefers well-drained soils. The other grass types can handle a wider range of soil conditions. Drought tolerance is excellent for Bermuda grass, good for zoysia grass, and just fair for the cool season grasses. In terms of shade tolerance, zoysia grass would be your best option, although tall fescue and fine fescue can do all right with lower light conditions. Kentucky bluegrass and Bermuda grass do not do well with low light conditions. Next, let's talk about some tips for mowing your lawn. Mowing is an important part of properly maintaining your lawn. Mowing seems pretty straightforward, but if done incorrectly can result in poor grass health and weed problems. Here's a few tips for mowing your lawn. When it comes to mowing, higher is better. The recommended mowing height for cool season grasses like Kentucky bluegrass and tall fescue is 3 to 3.5 inches high. Warm season grasses such as zoysia grass or Bermuda grass should be mowed at a height between 1 and 2 inches.
So if your mower is like mine, it doesn't tell you exactly how high it's mowing on the various mower deck settings. So one easy way to check how high the mowing height is set at, place your mower on a flat, even surface, take a tape measure, physically measure the height of the blade above the ground. So in this case, the mower is set on the highest setting, and our blade is about 3 3/4 inches. So that's a pretty good mowing height. If we lowered it one step to the next lowest setting, measure again, now we're at about 3 1/4 inches. So that's also a pretty good mowing height. So in this particular mower, that means for our cool season grasses, we're going to be mowing at the highest or second to highest deck setting.
Another option is to calibrate your mowing height by doing a few trial cuts on different deck heights to make sure you're mowing your grass at the proper height. This is pretty easy to do. Set your mower deck height to what you believe is 3 inches, mow a test strip, then stop and measure the grass height. Keep adjusting your mower until you get the correct grass height. Make a note of the correct setting on your mower. This can be done by placing a piece of tape next to the correct setting on your mower deck, or, if you'd like a more permanent option, you can mark the correct setting with paint. Another thing to consider is how often you mow. Everyone hates mowing their lawn every 4 days in the spring, but mowing frequently is important when grass is growing vigorously. The general rule of thumb is that you don't want to remove more than 1/3 of the leaf blade in a single mowing. So in this example, the grass blade is approximately 6 inches long, meaning you would not want to remove more than 2 inches from the grass blade, so you'd set your mower to a height of 4 inches. This means to achieve the desired mowing height of 3 inches, you'll need to mow more than once. Removing more than 1/3 of the total blade length could cause undue stress on your grass, potentially causing damage. We also recommend allowing your grass clippings to stay with your lawn, which adds valuable nutrients. A mulching mower is ideal for this, but a side discharge mower does the job as well. If you don't like piles of grass all over your lawn after mowing, then mow more frequently. Remember, you shouldn't be removing more than 1/3 of the grass blade at any one time. Before you consider using any soil amendment, such as a fertilizer, I highly recommend testing your soil to determine what nutrients your soil is lacking. The process for collecting and submitting a soil sample is described in one of our other videos. The best time to fertilize your lawn is September, with an additional application in late fall. Use a high nitrogen fertilizer such as 2205. Many lawns can get by with just fertilizing in the fall, but if you want to take it up a few notches, you can follow one of the lawn fertilization programs shown in this table. Be sure to take note of when to use a slow release form of nitrogen versus a quick release form, which is typically stated on the fertilizer bag. It's also worth noting that the dates in this table are for central Indiana and may need to be tweaked for northern and southern parts of the state, as indicated in the notes below the table. Once you're ready to apply your fertilizer, it's important to calibrate your equipment. This is pretty easy to do, as most fertilizer bags will list the proper settings to use with the various spreaders commonly found in stores. In this example, we have a Yardworks spreader, so we would use setting number 4 as recommended in the table on the fertilizer bag. Once your spreader is set up correctly, applying the fertilizer is pretty straightforward. Walk at a steady pace and keep track of how far to each side your spreader sends the fertilizer pellets in order to try to limit the amount of overlap between passes with the spreader. To protect water resources, it is recommended to avoid getting fertilizer on hard surfaces, such as sidewalks and driveways, where it will wash directly into storm sewers and ultimately into waterways. Only water your lawn when necessary. In the Midwest, that means during the hottest parts of summer, usually July through September. Cool season grasses are called cool season for a reason. They don't like hot, humid weather, meaning many cool season grasses will shut down and go dormant during the hottest part of the summer before they come back to life in the fall when temperatures drop. You can embrace this natural cycle or combat it. If you decide to fight off this dormancy, you'll have to water your lawn regularly during the warmest and driest parts of the summer. One way to tell if your lawn needs water is walk across it and examine the footprints. If your footprint remains visible and the grass doesn't bounce back, then it's time to water. Watering deeply and infrequently is recommended. Typically, 1/2 inch to 1 inch of water is recommended per watering. A simple rain gauge can help to determine how much water you've added. A tuna can can also accomplish this. Fill the tuna can to the rim with water and you know you've watered enough.
We've covered a lot in this video, but we haven't covered everything. If you'd like more information, refer to the Purdue Extension publication titled Taking Care of Your Yard. And as always, you can contact your local Purdue Extension educator for more information or for any questions that you might have. Thanks for joining us.